Hi there, John from Karen Shorten Training. This is the first in a video series explaining the concepts and the assessment tasks of the Cert 4 in Employment Services. In each video, I'll go through the assessment workbook around 5 questions at a time, and I'll discuss what I'm looking for as your assessor. So let's get started. Okay, so Module 1, the Mentor Training Assessment. Let's go straight to the first question. We're looking at why it's important to discuss boundaries, ground rules, and expectations of the mentoring relationship in our first mentoring meeting. Okay, so if you look at page 14 and 20 of the Learner Workbook, you'll find things like making sure that we've established what parts of the relationship are not negotiable. We're clearly defining the outcomes of the relationship, and we're just making sure that there's no awkward or unethical situations that can arise in the future. I guess also maybe a chance to let the participant know of any legal obligations. Moving on to question 2 or B. Now, why is it important to establish and maintain confidentiality of the mentoring relationship? Okay, so once again, page 14 and 20 of your Learner Workbook has that sort of information. I guess we're looking for, that trust is established, people realize that, the conversation's not going to leave the room and so on. And also it gives you a chance to mention any other legal requirements about confidentiality, whether it be mandatory reporting and so on. Next up, explain the key elements of building rapport in the mentoring relationship. Okay, so have a look at page 10 of your Learner Workbook there. I'm kind of looking for things like being non-judgmental, showing an interest in the person, being a good role model, and a good listener, and showing empathy. That's the sort of concepts we're looking for there. Explain the key elements of matching during the process of building rapport. Okay, so this is also on page 10 of your Learner Workbook. Being, copying the way they sit, copying the way they talk, and maybe even talk about similar experiences and so on. If they've got children, maybe you can mention you've got children and so on. When we go to question 1.4, describe what you can do to demonstrate good listening skills. Okay, page 7 of your Learner Workbook has that sort of outlined in it there. It's pretty common sense. Ask open-ended questions. Give them time to answer. Have good eye contact. Don't be distracted. Make sure that phone's off or not around. And then have open body language, like, relax, be respectful and non-judgmental. When we look at question 1.5, describe a social or cultural barriers. Now we've got an S there, so we need a couple of barriers here that can be considered when mentoring a participant. I just want you to be aware of what barriers are out there. You've seen them in your workplace. So things like what's mentioned on page 9 of your Learner Workbook: mental illness, substance abuse, poor health, low self-esteem. There's a bunch of stuff there if you just want to go through and mention some of the ones that you see in your workplace. Okay, folks, well, that's about it for those first 5 questions. I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks very much.